Hello, 9th graders! Sir Jonathan po, at your service. Narito ako upang kayo ay gabayan sa inyong pagkatuto para sa linggong ito. Anumang katanungan o karagdagang paglilinaw pagkatapos ng ating talakayan, ay maaari ninyong ikonsulta sa inyong mga guro sa Mathematics 9. Para sa videong ito, ay ating pag-uusapan ang tungkol sa Pythagorean Theorem. This lesson is anchored on the most essential learning competency, proves the Pythagorean Theorem. When we say Pythagorean Theorem, it states that in a right triangle, the square of the hypotenuse is equal to the sum of the squares of its two legs. Let us consider the right triangle ABC with right angle at C. The opposite sides of the respective angles are given as follows. The hypotenuse of the right triangle is represented by small c. This is considered as the longest side of the right triangle. On the other hand, the two perpendicular sides of the right triangle, represented by A and B, are the legs. In symbol, Pythagorean theorem is written as c squared is equal to a squared plus b squared, where c is the hypotenuse and a and b are the legs. Now, let's prove the Pythagorean theorem using the concept of area of triangles and squares. Let's say we draw a right triangle like this one and label the sides as A, B, and C, like we are used to. Ngayon, gumawa pa tayo ng tatlong kapareho ng nauna, tulad nito. Then we are going to arrange the four triangles like this, so that we get two squares. The large square with side length A plus B, and the small square with side length of C. The question is, what is the area of each shape? Alam natin na ang area ng triangle is represented by 1/2 base times height. But in this case, the base is A and the height is B. So we have 1/2 A times B. The area of the large square is represented by S squared. And since the side of the large square is represented by A plus B, then its area is quantity A plus B squared. Finally, the area of the small square is again represented by S squared. And since the side of the small square is C, we can say that its area is C squared. Now, we know that the area of the large square is equal to the area of the small square plus area of the triangles. Let's substitute. The area of large square is represented by quantity A plus B squared. That is equal to the area of the small square, which is C squared, plus the area of the triangle, which is 1/2 A times B. Since there are four triangles, we have 4 times 1/2 A times B. Sunod na ating gagawin is to evaluate the equation. Quantity A plus B squared is the same as quantity A plus B times the quantity A plus B. We have, using the FOIL method, F stands for the first term, A times A squared. O is for outer, A times B is AB, I is for inner, B times A is AB, and L is for last, B times B is B squared. Combining like terms, we have AB plus AB will leave us the result of A squared plus 2AB plus B squared. That is equal to C squared plus 4 times 1/2 is 2 times AB. We have 2AB. Since both sides of the equation contains 2AB, then it will be eliminated, leaving us A squared plus B squared is equal to C squared, and that is the Pythagorean Theorem. For this video, let me guide you to answer Activity 1 entitled, Am I Right? In this activity, we will just determine if the given lengths form a right triangle. If it forms a right triangle, then we will just write yes, and if not, we will write no. Let's begin with example number 1. We have 5, 12, and 13. Upang malaman natin kung ang mga sukat na ito ay makakabuo ng isang right triangle, we need to apply the Pythagorean Theorem. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared, where C is the hypotenuse, A and B are the legs. Alam din natin that the hypotenuse is the longest side of a right triangle. Since 13, based from the given, is the longest length, then we can say that this represents C. The other two measurements represent A and B. Then, based from the formula, we're going to substitute the value of C, A, and B. We have 13 squared is equal to 5 squared plus 12 squared. Next is to simplify. 13 squared is 13 times 13, and that is equal to 169. That is equal to 5 squared is the same as 5 times 5, and that is 25, plus 12 squared is the same as 12 times 12, and that is 144. Then, we need to combine 25 and 144. This will give us the result of 169 is equal to 169. Since both sides of the equation are equal, then we can say that the given lengths form a right triangle. So, the answer is yes. How about the next example? We have 3, 7, and 11. Tulad ng ginawa natin sa unang halimbawa, gagamitin ulit natin ang Pythagorean Theorem. C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. Since 11 is the longest length based from the given, then it represents C. The other two measurements represent A and B. Substituting the given values, we have 11 squared is equal to 3 squared plus 7 squared. By simplifying, 11 squared is 121. That is equal to 3 squared is 9 plus 7 squared is 49. Next is to add 9 and 49. We have 121 is not equal to 58. And since both sides of the equation are not equal, we can say that the given lengths do not form a right triangle. Then, the answer is no. Ngayon naman ay gagabayan ko kayo kung paano sagutin ang Activity 2 entitled This is Right. Let's begin with example number 1. Joshua must install fencing around the lot that is shaped like a right triangle. The side of the lot that runs east-west is 120 feet long. The side of the lot that runs north-south is 90 feet long. Calculate how many feet of fencing he will need to surround the entire lot. As usual, kailangan muna nating gumawa ng illustration ng problem upang ito'y masagot ng tama. Let's consider this triangle as the lot of Joshua, since according to the problem, it is shaped like a right triangle. The side that runs east-west is 120 feet long, while the side that runs north-south is 90 feet long. We are to determine the total length of fencing Joshua needs to surround the entire lot. We actually need to find the perimeter of the triangle. But before that, let us label the figure. Before we get the perimeter, we need to find the measure of this side first. To determine the measure of side C, we need to use the Pythagorean theorem, which is C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. By substitution, we have C squared is equal to 90 squared plus 120 squared. Simplifying, C squared is equal to 8,100 plus 14,400. Combining 8,100 and 14,400, we obtain the value of C squared, which is 22,500. Extracting the square root of both sides of the equation, we will get the value of C, which is equal to 150. Now, the value of C is 150 feet. Since we already computed for side C, we are now ready to calculate how many feet of fencing Joshua will need to surround the entire lot by calculating the perimeter of the lot using the formula P is equal to A plus B plus C. By substitution, we have P is equal to 90 plus 120 plus 150. Adding all the given will give us the value of P, which is 360 feet. Therefore, Joshua needs 360 feet fencing to surround the entire lot. How about this example? Find the measure of the diagonal of a rectangle whose length is 150 meters and width of 80 meters. Let us consider this rectangle with a dimension of 150 meters by 80 meters. We need to find the measure of its diagonal. To find it, let's consider this figure. Let's label the figure using A, B, and C with right angle at C. Based from the figure, ang nawawala ay ang length ng side C. In order to determine the value of the diagonal represented by side C, gamitin ulit natin ang Pythagorean theorem. We have C squared is equal to A squared plus B squared. By substitution, we have C squared is equal to 150 squared plus 80 squared. Simplifying, we have c squared is equal to 22,500 plus 6,400. Combining 22,500 and 6,400, we have c squared is equal to 28,900. Extracting the square root of both sides of the equation, we will get the value of c, which is 170. Therefore, we can say that the diagonal of the rectangle is 170 meters. That's all for this video. Thank you for watching and stay tuned for the next virtual instruction.